Hey guys, what's up? Tyler here with T-Game and Tech, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Rode PSA 1 microphone boom arm. And here's the boom arm itself, and with the boom arm comes two different options of mounting the actual arm to the desk. And so before we actually look at the boom arm itself, we're going to take a look at the two mounting options. So first we have a clamp-on mount. And so if you've seen these other kind of mounts before, you know how they work. Basically, you set the mount over the desk or edge of something and you screw the clamp until it comes close enough where it's tight on the surface. It can conform to a pretty small, a pretty thin table, and so it doesn't need to be really thick in order to be screwed in the whole way. And on the bottom there is actually a small layer of fabric. That way it doesn't scratch up the surface that you're tightening the clamp onto. This little rod slides back and forth, which enables you to tighten it in maybe some tight quarters. And this little bar here moves a little bit to give you a little bit of leeway if the surface you are tightening the clamp on isn't completely straight. It's pretty solid build quality, and this is actually where the boom stand sits. It sits inside that small hole. It doesn't screw in or anything. You just set the boom arm inside of the hole on the mount, and it just stays there. The second mounting option they give you is a metal mount where you actually drill a hole in the desk or the table that you are using, and you place the mount in. You unscrew this ring here, it's in the bottom, and you slide the actual mount through the hole, and then you slide the ring back on underneath, which causes it to be tight, and you stick the mount in the hole on the top just like the other mount. And this is a more permanent style of mounting. It's definitely going to be a lot sturdier, but you're going to forever have a hole drilled into your desk or table. And so I'm glad to give you the two different options. I prefer the clamp instead of the permanent mount, but I'm really glad to give you the two options to choose. Now let's take a look at the actual boom arm itself. The boom arm comes with two arms, and it comes with a joint where it does bend. And the arms, whenever you pull them apart, there is a spring inside of it that holds it together, holds it steady. That way the arm isn't loose and it's just not flying around. And it's very steady, and you can actually squeeze it together using a little bit of force. And you can actually wrap it and store it like so. And the arm does go beyond 90 degrees. You can stretch it out a little bit longer than that, but not much. Now, if you look at the boom arm, you do see two Velcro strips. There's also one strip on the other arm, and this is used for cable management. And I'm glad they included these because you don't want cables hanging everywhere, getting caught in the arm, or getting wrapped around anything else. This end here is actually the end that goes inside of the different mounting options, as you can see here. And it doesn't screw in or anything. It just stays in there. Never had any issues with it falling apart or anything. And the actual part where the actual mount is, this doesn't bend at all. And on this side, we have the actual device where you can attach either a shock mount or the microphone itself. And if the microphone doesn't fit this kind of adapter, you also have this piece that screws right on. And this is what I use with the Blue Spark, and the shock mount that comes with it fits on there fine. And I'm glad to give you the two different options in case you have different sizes of microphone. And this device here actually does rotate. That way you can change the angle of the shock mount or the microphone, and you can do that easily by twisting the little handles right here and moving it back and forth. And so this has just been an overview of the actual boom arm itself and the different components. And now I'm going to show you guys what it looks like set up and how I used it with my microphone set up at my desk. And so this is how I have the Rode PSA 1 on my desk. I have it mounted behind my actual monitor, and it comes up over top. As you can see, I have the cord for the Blue Spark inside the actual Velcro strips that help to align the cord. And there's also a little groove here that you can help it align down the center of the back of that one pivot point. And then up here, you can adjust what angle you want your microphone to be. It's kind of a pain to adjust it if you have the microphone installed, because you have to use kind of two hands, because it's kind of a two-hand tightening mechanism. I really don't like that, but it's just a minor thing. I mean, I don't really change that too often. I keep the the shock mount of the microphone rather in one spot. I really don't change this angle here at all. The other thing that happens, like I said, is that this little part right here gets stuck inside the actual shock mount of the Blue Spark. You have to get it out. You kind of have to stick your finger inside the actual adapter piece and kind of work it out that way. That's another little issue that I have. But other than that, I really like this. For $100, it's a pretty solid boom stand or mic mount, whatever you really want to call it. But it has pretty much 360 degrees of movement. If you just move this, you can move it the whole way around here. It's really only limited by what's around it, like the wall or the computer monitor as it's running into the curtain. It can go the whole way around here. Computer monitor is really the only thing limiting it. As far as height, That's about all high as it goes. You can see it kind of starts to wiggle back and forth inside the actual stand. I can come down pretty low till it hits the monitor. Over here, if I move it over here, it comes down even lower. Usually at night, I bring the microphone down about as far as it can go down. As far as moving it down that way, it's not going to fall, or just so bad things won't happen. Less chance of bad things happening, just in case the shock mount would ever just somehow miraculously get loosened. But it has a pretty wide range of motion for a relatively cheap shock mount. One thing I do notice is that this spins a lot right here. That's actually spinning right here in this mechanism wherever you put the shock mount on. I wish you could tighten that up so that it wouldn't move, because sometimes if you're moving it and your mic accidentally moves, and it's just not really preferred. As far as noise, right now, if I move this up, right now I'm actually talking to the Blue Spark. If I move it around, you'll be able to see if you can hear any noise or not. It's relatively, to my ears as you're listening with it, it's relatively silent, moving it back and forth, up and down. You can hear a little bit of creaking. This is also in a shock mount, so any noise is going to be a little bit less as well if it just be mounted straight on. And so I think it does pretty well as far as noise. It doesn't skreek or make any kinds of terrible sounding noises. Just a little bit of a crack every now and then whenever you move it first initially. And so other than that, there's really not much else to say about it. I really like it. It's much better than having the mic stand that I used to have. I used to have it over here for gameplay. I'd have to bring it over here and then put the blue snowball on it, or else I have it right now with the Rode mic attached. I'm just glad I don't have to move it back and forth, back and forth. This stand is amazing. It makes things 10 times easier. It cleans up desk space. I can move the microphone out of the way if I want. I move the microphone to right about here for Let's Plays, and it still picks me up well, and they can still see my face. And so I would highly suggest it if you're looking for a relatively cheap mic stand or a boom arm. It comes in at $100. There's a couple that are cheaper, but they're probably a little cheaper made. This is all solid metal, the actual build quality, and the build quality is really strong. I don't feel like anything's going to snap or break. I've bended it pretty far, stretched it pretty far. All the springs and the metal holds together very well. And so besides a couple minor things that I mentioned, such as the tightening mechanism, the little adapter right here, that's really all the small things I could think of that are bad about it. Overall, though, it's really nice, really solid, a lot of motion, and I would highly suggest it if you're looking for a relatively cheap boom stand for your microphone. And so that's going to wrap up this review. If you guys enjoy this video, give it a like. If you plan on picking this up, I'll have a link down in the description below through my Amazon link, and I get a little bit of help if you buy it from that link. And so let me know if you're going to pick it up down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe for more videos like this, and check out some of my other links to other channels, and social links are all in the description below. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.